I don't know. You just called me out of the blue. And, I'm here.
Oh. Gosh, imagine if that actually worked. You know, like, just called you, like, right, we're doing a live stream. What? What? Yes, right now. Oh. What? That would be interesting.
Sure. Yeah, we're doing DS9 Season 2.
3 better than 3. DS3.
Yes. 3 times as awesome.
Yeah, Season 2. We are now progressing. You know, is Season 2 known to be the one before the good season? Is that kind of the way it's known?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't really think about the first 2 seasons, really.
Yeah. I'm interested. I think we learned some stuff in the last live, Season 1. Season 2, obviously I did the full skim. There's a few more I'm like, oh yeah. But you can definitely see and sort of feel the gentle course correction from Season 3 onwards, which is less Bajor, more interesting stuff. Like, grander. I was surprised how insular the season felt in the skim. Which makes sense if you're going all in on Cardassians and Bajorans. But you don't need to do that. And they moved away from it and they got better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-Dominion. Because, again, Cardassians can only be so much of a threat.
I mean, we get the introduction of the Dominion. The name is dropped, and there's an issue. So, I mean, hey, they figured it out pretty quick. I didn't think it was this soon, honestly.
Yeah, definitely sort of pre-Dominion, the Preminion time, you know.
The Preminion time.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's not too bad, is it?
I'm gonna use that from now on.
Alright, I'm gonna start sharing. Top of the rules as always, and we'll get to it in a second.
Yes. As you guys know, this is viewer's choice. You guys get to select which episodes we talk about in Season 2 of DS9. You get to super chat in and let us know which episode you'd like to talk about next, and we will rank it. We will discuss it. We will kind of talk about the highlights or interesting facts from it. We want you guys to participate as well. So if you know an interesting fact while we're talking about it and you want to throw that in, you can super chat it in, or you can just put it in the regular chat. We really appreciate all the help you guys can offer with super chats. So if you can, please do so. We really appreciate it. And it should be a good discussion. Keep in mind, you can move the things on the board after we rank them. If you don't agree with our decision, you can bump them up or down a tier if you so choose. Be sure you hit that like button. Be sure to participate and super chat in if you're able to. And also, be part of the conversation. There's also links, or a link, a button down below that says join. You can join the channel here on YouTube, or you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another way to join us on a monthly basis and help support the channel. It all means so much. And yeah, lots of ways to participate. So do the things. You can also click those links. There's links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. TeePublic has some really cool stuff, so I suggest checking them out and maybe pick yourself up some cool Trekyard stuff or other stuff. Yeah. Do the things. Make sure you're subscribed. Click the notification bell icon. But just be part of the conversation. Have fun with us. Be present. Be here. Yes. So yes, we'll get to your super chats in just a second here and start the discussion. Should be an interesting one. It's one of those seasons that, glancing through, I recognize a lot of stuff, but it's the minutia that I don't really remember. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out here.
Yes. All right, put in what you want to look at. I like the randomness, guys. So don't just put them all in one go or in order. I like doing them kind of out of order and having to experience the flow. And is there going to be any Fs this time? I think we had a lot of averages last time. Oh my god. Am I in red alert? Are we gonna have some Fs or some S's or some some C's?
Yeah.
Or some G's.
Yeah. Anyway, well, let's start off with first super chat. Matthew DeFried $5.
Hi,
Civil
Matthew.
Defense is where it's at in season 2. You really start to feel the size and inner workings of the station in this episode. Problem is, Civil Defense is not in this season. I believe it's season 3. So pick another one, Matthew. Go with the Maquis episode. The Maquis episode. Which one? There's 2. There's the Maquis part 1 and part 2.
Always start with part 1.
Unless he wants to do part 2.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Season 2 for me just represents another malaise of, it's DS9 again. They haven't really found too much spark yet, with a couple of exceptions. But there are some better sci-fi stories this season than last season, which are notable.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely maybe pushing, the interesting crosses with 2 giant callbacks with the Mirror episode and the Klingon episode.
Yeah.
Which help a lot.
So he wants part 1. So here's part 1. I believe this is picture part 1.
Yes. Yep. All right. Your thoughts, part 1.
This is a good episode. You get to meet another fellow captain and friend of Benjamin Sisko, somebody he really trusts and respects, until he doesn't. But that's part 2. Yeah, I mean, this really brings to light the problems that the Maquis are having with the Cardassians and Starfleet's kind of hesitance and resistance to deal with it. Great characters. I do love the other captain. I can't remember his name right offhand. It's not Maxwell. Anyway, regardless. You also got a Romulan or a Vulcan lady that's in there hitting on Quark. I believe she's a spy of sorts.
Well, she's part of the Maquis. So she's trying to she's arms trading with Quark secretly and flirting, but not, and he's mega flirting with her. And it's a wonderful, just like entirely separate tangent, and it all comes together. Every arc is the same thing at the end. Hence part 2.
But she's like playing him, and he's like legit.
Well, they're playing each other. I mean,
no, it's true. No, it's a good. This is a good 2-part episode. I think I might enjoy part 1 a little more than part 2, if I recall correctly. But it's building the tension and the problems that the Maquis are kind of stirring up for Starfleet. And just the Cardassians stepping in and being like, you got to rein your people in, guys. Again, not quite sure of all the minutia in this episode, but it is a good episode. It's a good 2-part episode.
Yeah, I rewatched this because I had Nick Cook come down for a shoot last year, and I rewatched all the main Maquis episodes to remember, because the other ones led to Caretaker, and I'd seen these, of course, but not in a long time, so it was interesting to go back and actually rewatch it. It's this benefits from being Mark Alamo is great, but he's great because he's not a villain. It instantly treads that he's not just playing. So he's a Cardassian who comes unofficially and swings his Cardassian bigger dick around for the colonists, who also are confused he's there, and then he ends up like overriding and showing how even since the first season he's already been put out of the chain of command, which comes in great, which is why he goes Dominion to be more powerful again. It all works well, but he's not a frenemy. He's not a friend or an enemy. He's just doing his job, and he's trying not to be hated. Doesn't care if he's annoying. So it's a really good tone for him, and he's having fun with the role. So him and Sisko, those play super well. The Vulcan lady's great. That's a really fun, stupid storyline, and there's some great one-takers with Quark and her that are really difficult and well done. And yeah, his friend Captain is good. I think on the second watch it's pretty obvious where it's going, but first watch you wouldn't think a Starfleet captain would rebel, because this is before, he's not Laren, right? This is some good captain, quote unquote. So it is quite a fun twist, and of course seeing TNG and Voyager or DS9 is fun together. And the colony stuff is very much a payoff to TNG, because it's like these guys can't live together. Everyone's a dick. Everyone's doing bad things, and and forced confessions, and it's pretty much building up to the Maquis. No shit, but you can't keep a terrorist group, freedom fighter group storyline going that long, and they all get massacred at a certain point. But for this season, this is definitely one of the best Bajora and Maquis style stories, I think, because it has good character acting. Like, the guest cast all strong, and it relies on them making scenes well acted interesting. So I'd say this is a strong A.
Yeah, I was going to say A personally.
And I don't know about part 2. I know the ending is disappointing, relatively, but this has some really good stuff. Yeah. Very nice.
Perfect. A it is. We agree on the first one. That's always good. And I don't like the Maquis or the Bajoran stuff, so I mean, hey.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice he's another Federation captain. Like, it does do something real special, secret sauce to this kind of episode.
Yes. Okay. Hit the like button, guys. 26 of you here. 10 likes. We want to get those likes up.
And a poll, Stuart. And we have a shocking 100% so far.
Which is better? DS9 Season 1 or Season 2?
Number 1 or number 2? Do you have opticians in your go 1 or 2? Is that thingy?
Yes. No, we don't have opticians here. I got these glasses. I just cut out some, found an old window and just cut these out.
I was like a church. You was like, it's glass. There's glass. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go for the stained glass. I just went for the clear glass. So.
Because you respect them so much, yeah.
Yes, we have 1 or 2. Which is better?
Why is that universal? Love it. Love it. Great. Okay, cool.
All right. Ray Ricks, £5 crossover. Season 2, episode 23.
Mirror.
First delve into the mirror universe for Deep Space Nine.
With leathered, sexy Kira Nerys, who is having a ball. Absolute ball.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
And this is our first mirror in like 25 years at this point, right?
Yes.
Wow. Big deal.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the mirror universe stuff in Deep Space Nine, if I'm honest. And this one, there's so many of them that it kind of gets a little diluted a little bit. I mean, Smiley's probably the best out of all of the episodes, honestly. But
is the episode called Smiley?
No.
Oh, you mean just in the episodes? Here's the best part.
Yes,
right,
I think he's my best takeaway from their mirror universe. I never really appreciated the Intendant when I was younger. Now she actually does a really fantastic job. I love seeing Nana play this different character. It really stands out. She's having a great old time, and yeah. So this crossover incident is, I forget how it happens. Is it a shuttle? Is it a runabout that happens?
Faulty wormhole. Simple as that.
Oh.
Wormhole goes haywire. They cross over. It's real simple.
Yeah.
In a runabout, of course.
This is also the one where Odo gets exploded. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're not afraid of brutalizing their own cast in this.
We're never gonna go back there. It's fine.
Yeah. And Jennifer is in this one, or is she just in the second one, third, fourth, fifth?
I don't remember.
I assume she would be, because that's a pretty major plot point in the other ones. That his deceased wife is alive in that universe. Must be the second one then.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's a confusing one because it's the fact they throw away every element of the mirror universe from TOS for me is a shame. Because it does. It's interesting to say the Cardassians Klingons took over, fine. But you could at least have had them in a war with the Terran Empire and not brutalize them all and be gone, because they just killed everything from TOS, flat dead, with no chance of coming back. And what it replaces with is not very interesting. Because the Klingons are wearing Klingon costumes, Cardassians costumes, the station looks like the Cardassian version. Nothing here is new. Whereas TOS Mirror Mirror, everything felt new. And while it's wonderful to see Garrick in uniform, cool. It's great to see everyone play different. It feels devoid of the charm of the TOS one. You get the brutal mirror stuff, but that's just evil universe, not the mirror universe. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is the best of them because it's the most standalone. It's not convoluted by the bullshit later, where they just do weird stuff, right? And it's really fun to see the station be a mere, its role as an all-processing plant. We see that. That's interesting. There's good stuff in here for sure, but I just wish they hadn't ruined the main concept of the mirror universe to never come back. Is a shame. But it's like half great choices and half really bad choices for me personally. And it's absolutely half. But as I'm scrolling, it's shot really differently. Lighting's interesting. But yeah, I just wish they hadn't have ruined the past stuff to make it work.
And Avery Brooks as Benjamin, I mean, he's quite an interesting character as well. So like their characterizations are really good. We actually see his mirror counterpart in this one later. It's of course Cisco, our Cisco, pretending to be that Cisco. So
well, it's different to the mirror TOS one because they are same ship side over. There's none of the things that make them who they are exist in this universe. So no one is even close to being the same. Everyone is just a different person from born to death with no similarities. There is no Starfleet training on both. One mirror, one not. Which
makes the convergence of all of them at this one spot and makes no sense. That's one of the problems I have with the mirror universe. Because if you advance through assassination, people are going to get assassinated before they have kids. Therefore, you're not going to have the same people. It's fine. It's such a coincidence that everybody's on this station.
I mean, I get what they're doing, but this could have done with having data in it, right? If you're not limited, you say, by the cast, have some tinted crossovers, have a TOS cast member come back, right? F it. Have Evil Chekhov, right? You're not limited by these people, so don't have Cisco. Don't have. I know you're not going to get the same vibe, but wouldn't it be amazing to see a mirror Chekhov? And he turned evil. He turned Empire. Like that is totally free, and they're all alive. They're all still doing Trek. Kind of, it would have been really easy. Like that would be broader thinking, and it would have got a lot more, I think, creativity. Like having Jennifer back on the second one, right? That's creative thinking, right? So it for me, this is between B and a C. I think it does too many shortfalls, but it is fun. But I'm just annoyed by it. What are you thinking?
I was thinking C personally for this one.
Okay, let's go C, but $2. Anybody to raise it to B, I think we'll accept. I think for me it's on that line. If you like that sort of schlock. So $2 and to move it, but I think C is, yeah.
It's. I don't remember. I remember the attendant being thoroughly enthralled with Kira. It's like, ooh, this is like.
She loves herself and herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember why. She just wanted to
play with herself.
Have a toy to play with.
That's it. She's a wonderfully understandable character. It's just fun orgy, sex, fun time. Check. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, you can't get better than yourself, right? If you love yourself.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. Interesting.
Where are we going now? Classic for real, $10. Spent $300 on Easter shopping for family and $500 at anime convention. Sam, look up Yoko Bearleg Bunny version spaceship. Really. Because I'm stupid, so can't do much but $5. Sanctuary and money paying God Dan say suck. What?
Made you say Dan sucks. Oh. Ooh, okay. 5-person.
It's a Sanctuary.
That's cool. 5 thing. Yeah, that's cool. Yoko Bear, whatever. That's cool. Ooh. Have you had a good time? Conventions be fun.
But they be pricey.
They can be. All right. So what did he say? He said.
Sanctuary. The Koreans. The people that flake their skin everywhere.
Yes, I remember the visual, but I can't recall exactly what the episode. Except their costumes are totally the ones from the Voyager episode where they shift. They get stolen one at a time. It's like totally the same look.
Yeah.
Right, what happens here? Because I remember them being like a problem at the end.
They were looking for their Eden, essentially, a place called Cantana, which is actually Bajor.
Yes.
So they want to go and live on Bajor, as you know, there's 3 million of them on the other side of the Gamma Quadrant. They have to kind of leave their home, and there's the whole thing of should the Bajorans, who just come out of this long thing with the Cardassians and just getting on their feet themselves, allow them to stay.
Yep, taking, they're almost a refugee population by themselves. Can they afford to take refugees as well without their own culture? Wow, what a very political, social issue episode this is. My God.
And Walter Koenig's son is in this.
Oh yes, that's why I recognize him.
Yes, yeah. It's a good episode. I mean, they cause a little bit of havoc on the station because they're just kind of curious people, and they're leaving their skin flakes everywhere, which is hilarious.
Well, you have to show why the Bruins wouldn't want them, but make them annoying. And like little ticks, little things.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember what the solution was. Did they actually give them an area of Bajor?
Either that or they got sent away. It was something less than ideal, and they were like, we thought you'd do better. It's like...
Yeah, they were very disappointed with the outcome.
Yeah,
I remember that.
But it was like mutually non-happy, and that was a win. Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where it's good, but I wouldn't ever write about it, write home, talk about it. But it's less fun and interesting than the Mirror one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say so.
I maybe put the Mirror one too low because of that, but I mean, D for memorability, I'm sure it's textually quite interesting, but I certainly wouldn't raise it above, because DS9's a good show. I would not consider this one of their good episodes. And if you compare it to, obviously, a prime example, but the episode where the lady's a ghost from the past, not really, that's like exceptional storytelling. This is, it's right, it's good, it's right. Like, they can do better, right?
Yeah, they end up sending him to another planet. That's right. And
be happy. It's like, thanks.
Yep. You've created an enemy this day. I mean, they don't say that, but...
And also, what can they do? D feels harsh, but I have no particularly big thoughts about it, so...
Yeah, if anybody else wants to move it up, just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
You know the routine. But yeah, it's. I mean, the Screens. It's an interesting name. They're the hairstyle. You can't forget the hairstyle on the lady. So it's got a few interesting elements, but
yeah.
Classic for real, $2. Poll DS9 season 2 versus TNG season 1 and 2 combined.
We asked that last time. Everyone liked DS9 better.
Yes.
But keep voting on our current poll. It is currently 100%.
20 votes. Damn.
Yeah.
That never happens.
No. So don't be a dick. Unless you believe so.
Classic for real, $5. Bruh, gotta finish off the Maquis other half. This is probably going to be it for supers for me. That's fine. Thank you, Classic.
Amazing.
So yes, part 2 of the Maquis.
Dum. He's the baddie.
Yes. His family that lives in the militarized zone, and he's got to protect them, and he feels that what Starfleet is doing is wrong. It's that whole nugget, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's more samey than the first piece, in the sense that it's just, I want to convince my friend. He won't believe you. I can get through to him. No, you can't. I will try. Back to the station. I need to go through my friend. Can I get to... Like,
yeah, and Chev is in this too.
As is the Cardassian from the previous episodes, and...
Yes.
But he's up at a bit of weight since the last time. He barely fits into his costume. Oops. But that's great. There's an unsung hero of the Cardassian people. Well, I love he's got... As I was on him, he's got like some fake neck bits, because he clearly hasn't got a good neck, because that's like... That's a fabric neck. That is a... Because they're like, yes, you attacked a convoy, but not real, people, but won't actually blame you. So we're just gonna be in politically and say, don't do it again. But Ducat's again great in this.
Yes.
He doesn't, because he's not playing both sides. Obviously, he believes in Cardassia, but he's really refined here. It's interesting, and the fact that he can walk around the station. Because he was the guy that tortured people who lived in the station like a year ago, 2 years ago, right? But he also knows it really well. So there's a really fun vibe where he's kind of walking freely, but you can tell it's kind of tense, but he doesn't give a shit because he'll kill anyone. They attack me, I'll shoot back, right? No, they punch you to cut. Yeah, no, I shot him. It's like, well, is that fair? Yes, okay. And
it's the Federation has to step in and kind of stop the Maquis from attacking Bajoran convoys because they're going to they're going to instigate a full-scale war. So,
well, this is the one that escalates it from they're being dicks to us to we're going to go attack them. Like, this is the point. Unfortunately, the budget for the episode doesn't really give you a big sense of that. A few people in mediocre clothing with some rifles and then one set of fighters at the end. And that's the great, we're going to take on the Cardassian Empire. It doesn't have the scale they think it does, but that's all they can afford. But, I mean, they can't even have capital ships, can they? Because they're just literally farmers on this planet who know other farmers on other planets. They ain't got any tech, but they're so sure. Like, it would have been fun, hard, but had that first scene on the planet with a friend, which is a fine scene, a bit long, but it's fine. If he had managed to steal his own starship, like, I know he's the governor of this planet, but if he had a starship, say, had an Excelsior, and then actually had a capital ship in their story. And they could have repaint it for a subsequent appearance. Like, that would have elevated it just beyond some Paragons at the end, which are not very capable, really.
Yeah, it would have felt a lot like The Wounded, where they got the rogue captain with the Nebula class.
But much darker. But it would have made sense as a follow-up, right? There would have been a thematic. But then he actually took his own ship, and that could have been fun. So it's medium, right? It's a good two-parter. Because it feels satisfying to part one. Part one does most of the heavy lifting for part two.
Yes.
What do you think? I'm torn on this.
I'm not quite sure it's B-worthy.
Yeah, me too.
That's the problem. I'd say high C.
Yeah. And there were good scenes. But yeah, I agree. Like, him shooting her in uniform is quite dramatic near the end. But maybe the guy is great as a Starfleet captain, but he's so chill. He's very low.
Very chill. He's very chill.
And it works for confidence, but if you need a range of emotion, he doesn't really have that.
No.
But I do believe him. That's what I mean. If he had a starship they could be captain on, which I think is part of why the Defiant works so well. They have a ship. It's really tactically able. But that also, because the lady who's in Defiant is in this episode. There's a good through line of people in this. But yeah, it's not quite as strong. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting, guys. I like it.
Okay. All right. Hit the like button, guys. 26 of you here, 18 likes. Let's get those likes up to 25 if we can.
Mm-hmm.
And keep super chatting in. Let us know which episode you want us to talk about.
Mm-hmm. There are many to talk about, and there's some ones I quite enjoy in this.
Yes. So next up, we've got Ray Ricks, £5. I like a good Bashir O'Brien episode. Armageddon Game, episode 13. Yes, this is the one where they actually start becoming friends, because up to this point they didn't really like each other so much.
Yeah, I've seen this, but I don't remember it.
Pretty sure it's this picture.
Yeah. Like, they're stranded, I know that, but I don't remember the...
Well, they tell everybody on Deep Space Nine that O'Brien did something wrong in the laboratory, ended up dying, and so the whole thing on the station is Keiko dealing with his supposed death and going through the security footage to see what he did differently or wrong. And she figures out that O'Brien's not really dead because he never has a coffee that late in the day because he ordered a Ractagino. And it's funny at the end, she's like, that's how I knew you weren't dead, because you never ordered a He was like, actually did order a Ractagino. I was tired. So
that's good payoff.
Yeah. The other part of it with O'Brien and Bashir. O'Brien's been sick. I think he's got some kind of radiation poisoning or something. And this is the part I remember least about the episode, honestly, even though it kind of builds their friendship. But they are being hunted.
Or don't like emergency beam out from the runabout down to the surface, and that's the problem because they're stuck. But
yeah.
Gosh, good for Keiko. Good Keiko episode then if she goes that much, like acting wise.
Yeah. That's some really good. That's the investigation part on the station's really good. The rest, I don't really remember a lot of the Bashir and O'Brien stuff, unfortunately. Like why exactly he's sick.
So, I mean, it seems fine. Seems good enough. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah. It seems like a generally decent episode.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And again, once again, they're using the Jem'Hadar rifle before it's a Jem'Hadar rifle again. I guess I just love that prop. It's just to see it so unabashedly the same thing. So they just had that in the stock cupboard and then thought, oh, we'll give it to the main baddies. But so, use it for none of the villains. Okay.
No one will notice. Yeah.
I wonder if part of the rationale why they became friends in this is because, of course, when O'Brien is in his element, he's quite approachable. When Bashir is in his element, medical, he's so clever that he's obnoxious. Because you're normally vulnerable in that with him. But the fact they brought him out of the medical situation allows him to be just himself in the same plane as O'Brien.
Yeah.
As Bashir, sorry. Yeah, O'Brien. So I wonder if that's how they sort of connected, because then he's not doing medical stuff, ironically.
Well, I remember they have a conversation about Bashir feels lucky, like, that he doesn't have a family. He's not a family man, so there's nobody back home worrying about him. Ooh. And it kind of triggers O'Brien. Like, what about me and Keiko? It's like, well, some people do it, but most career officers don't want a family, and there's a lot of fighting, and that's what I think builds the friendship.
100%. Yep.
So yeah, but again, I don't remember all the minutia of that other story as to why they're stranded there. What's wrong with O'Brien?
Well, I'd stray straight to see, because it feels just as good in different ways. The other two both have more creative flair. This is probably more character flair, but nothing in it strikes out as being yes B.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's a B at all. I just find it ironic that she's like, yeah, he's not dead. He wouldn't do that. And at the end, he's like, yeah, actually, I did, but so. Anyway.
But thanks for caring. That's great. Yeah, that's a really good little payoff. Nice. All right.
It. Classic for real. Who said he would do no more super chats? Goes in $2. We did get Mir Chekhov. His name is Bester.
Gosh, that's a Chekhov be real evil then. Guys, well, is he mean? Ooh, that's a whole. That's a whole thing by itself. Not on this live.
That's the guy from Avalon 5, I assume.
Yes, that's his most favourite character, because he had way more to do than Chekhov. And Dan says yes, the alien ship in this one was the Darmok ship. It was classic model reuses. All right, where are we going next? Who could put in an S, guys, or an F? Because we've got the middle covered, kind of.
Yeah. Ray Ricks, £5. Necessary Evil.
Ooh, that was a video game, wasn't it? No, yeah, maybe. Okay, which one is this? These are not ringing bells in terms of names.
I'm not sure. Hold on.
This is the. Oh, my dad watched this the other day. Gosh, what did I pick for this? This is the Flashback. There's 2 in the season. Wait, is it? Or is that why I got confused? Because there's an episode where they do go into the past, but not really. There's a flashback episode where we see the past.
I think this is a flashback episode.
Yeah, this is
his past investigation.
Yeah, that's why I picked this one, because which is a really, really good idea to see an example, because someone from his past comes to the station who also knows Kira, and at the time Kira's a terrorist. They find like a dead body explosion thing in a wall, in a shop that was a different shop back then. and then turns out it was from his time at the station. So you get more Golden Cop in his actual prime, being the hero of the station. Great redress, great. I mean, but just making it grey, horrible lighting worked a beautiful treat. I mean, so simple. And you see, you know, he's called a collaborator throughout the show because he was, but you know, without the context of good or bad, he's just following the law. The law is set by the government. They're the government. Moving on, right? Like that's how he saw it. And it's a really, really interesting piece. And Kira's the baddie in the end, if I recall. That's the twist. She's the one that did it. She blew up the thing. But at the time, it was to fight the terror. You know, it was to fight the baddies and la la la. Right? There's a reason for it all, and he has to judge. You know. You were the murder person that I decided at the time. How do I feel? If I recall.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah,
it's one of those ones that I don't really recall, unfortunately. So I'm glad you kind of had a good synopsis there.
Yeah, I recently saw clips of it, and this is a creative, clever one. It's still a bottle show, but you need these kind of ones to show you. You know, they always say show don't tell. They're showing you textually the past, and because it is literally the same set, just looking shittier, it feels notably different. And yeah, seeing past Kira is a really good twist halfway through. You know, there's the person, it's Kira, but then the acting is obviously totally different because pre-Friends. Yeah, it's definitely it's a good little evolution of story, and like I said, to have Kira be the villain, is really good for a twist.
There was also a list of names that they found of the Bajoran
sympathize. Yeah,
like people that Kira had to go in to take out. That was her job.
Yep, because they were like doing nice things. The Cardassians, I think that was like one of their shops. You know, because you could get a room on the station with a replicator, versus you know a crammed crawl space with 7 slaves. I mean, people who have no wage. Yeah. And Quark's in it hurt for some reason. Can't remember why.
Yeah.
I think I would call this a gentle B. I think this is better than the stuff in C, but does not equate to A. I think it's a gentle B. I think it's a clever piece of TV.
Yeah, I would need to rewatch it again to really... I remember it being good, but I can't remember, again, a lot of the minutia, unfortunately. I'm sorry. It's been one that I was like 5th into a watch. Binge watch,
but I'll say this is gently a B. This is a pretty good piece. And seeing Golden Cut as a different version of the character really helps because he's always on the back foot, but he isn't here. Like, what's him truly? What's he actually like? You know, pretty interesting.
Yeah,
good stuff. And yeah, the beginning of Odo and Kira, 100%.
All right. Next up, we got Area 51 with $5. Second Sight. Sisko dips his toe into the dating waters with a lady who isn't who she seems.
Yes. I just remember this episode for the look of the lady, the wonderful reuse of the... So this is the only episode to use a runabout's back quarters in DS9 as a Nebula class's conference room. It's the one week they had the set and they tore it down, but it exists as that thing, so it's such a weird one. There's this lady who's a well-known sci-fi character actor. Nebula class bridge. I don't remember the main plot or the B plot. I just remember the visuals personally, and his vibe with her is really good. And this is a particular interest to me because there's one sequence at a docking pylon where he takes the lady on a date, and there's no ship docked. So you see what it looks like when it's not docked, and then to like clear the set and make it a green screen. It's a really good reference point for that. So that's all I really... I don't remember the plot at all, except the visuals.
Yeah, there's a doctor that comes on board to do some kind of research, and Sisko meets this lady. They go good chemistry. They go on a date, and then he can't find her again. So he's asking everybody, "Have you seen her? Do you know anything about her?" And then they end up going for dinner with the scientist, and it turns out his wife is the lady.
Yep.
But she doesn't seem to know Sisko.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he finds her again.
Yes, but it's
her again, but it's not. What the hell? How have you got a twin? Oh, and then she phases out.
It's like, I don't know if it's a projection from her mind. I can't remember the reason for the other lady.
Well, there's two of them in the same room, so obviously it's something like that. Great to see Nebula class and retained uniforms. Really nice to have a bit of continuity. There's a sun, and
then... Yeah, I don't remember the specifics again.
So is this disappointing because you just don't like these that much, or because you watch them in a way that means you can't remember them, and therefore it's your fault for not watching it like intently? I'm intrigued for these.
Probably the second thing. I was probably doing other shit on my phone and talking to Solia and not really super paying attention. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Fenna is an illusion created by Nidel's unconscious mind. She's a psycho projection telepath. Ooh.
Yes.
And has obviously produced Fenna before. According to Daxter scans, there's a lot of energy coming from her optical lobe. Daxter doesn't believe she could survive more than an hour or two. She doesn't believe she can do anything about it.
Guys, hit the like button. Let's get to 25 likes. We need 3 more to do that. And 27 of you here, which should be no problem. And 26 votes on the poll. If you haven't voted, go vote.
Yeah, and the husband kills himself or lets himself die in a son so that his wife can be free of... Because he's sort of triggering it. Not really, but like because of him. Huh. Very bittersweet. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't got the punch of the seas, as harsh as that sounds. But it's a cute love thing, I do recall.
Yes, her and Cisco have a really great chemistry. And she looks really good.
Yeah, great character actress.
Yeah. I'd say D.
For this season, right?
Yes.
Interesting. Sounds good, but as with many things, were they able to keep the Enterprise D bridge and make it a proper nebula? That would have elevated it, versus using the Enterprise D back of the runabout, which kind of feels janky, and the bridge is very small. And these are small things, but like it has a smallness where, if it had the proper feel of those sets, which it would have, conceptually. Okay. Interesting.
All right. So next up, we got Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Playing God, proto-universe discovered inside into the Trill. Jake tells his dad he doesn't want to be in Starfleet.
That's a conversation. And Devereaux points out this is the only season, which is between TNG and Voyager. It's the only season of the old era with only one show at a time when they're doing multiple shows. Interesting.
Yeah, so this is the one where there's a Trill that comes aboard that it's in running for becoming a symbiote host, and
what's it called again?
Jadzia, Plain God. Jadzia has to train him, but she's very hard on him, and he's wondering why, because she was really she felt bullied by Curzon when she was going through this, and she's kind of doing the same thing. So he doesn't understand why. There's a whole thing around that, and then of course you got Jake, who Benjamin thinks, oh, go help with engineering, go do this, go do that. You never know what you're going to want to specialize when you go to Starfleet. And Jake's like, I don't want to be in Starfleet. I don't know how to tell my dad. That's the B plot.
Any day now you're going to Starfleet, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'll let you extend that. And if I recall, you specifically called this out as being one you didn't like this guy. We did an episode where we did something about this. You poo-pooed this actor because it was creepy. Or something.
The other Trill?
Yeah.
I don't know if I recall that. I think he's fine for what he is. He comes across as competent, yet also very low self-esteem. So he wants the position, but he comes off as not really sure that he deserves it. And I think he works really well in this role. I don't know if I mentioned that this one was creepy. I don't recall saying that.
Okay.
But, who knows? Maybe I was having a day.
It can happen. Yeah, this is a funnier one, because it's great to see Jadzia be the central. As I'm scrolling, there's just so many key moments. Now, they might have appeared previously, but here's her out corking cork. And it feels natural, and she's wonderful. There's her with a gentleman caller. She's an old man, she's able to... She's has a fun time. And there's other ones as well. Oh, yeah, the singing Klingon. What an amazing randomness that's just tremendous.
There's the Klingon, the big Klingon with the heart, the accordion thing.
Just wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's funny that's the stuff I remember this episode and the guy's performance. It's just a decent science story, but double Trill interaction is interesting. And yeah, I do remember liking the, she was not. Oh gosh, was she wanting to take this guy on because she can help, or was she not wanting to because Curzon did with her and she had bad memories of that, like distinctly, or was she trying to be better than him?
I think she was resistant to have him come on board. Yeah. I think it seems to ring a bell.
I think she liked him but didn't want to do the job. No offense to him, and so it was like, I guess I'm forced to. And she ends
up treating him exactly the way she was treated, which she didn't really appreciate at the time, but she grew to understand why she was treated that way. Yeah.
And first class involves from the station, which is a really fun little prop. I mean, yeah, a good slice of life DS9 episode. I guess that is pretty good. I felt the Jake thing, but I really like that as a subplot. That's great. I'm glad they knew that early on. Yeah, better than average, but nothing particularly special. Once again, and I felt this is another example of you could put on the background and not miss much, but enjoy the bits you're watching.
Yeah.
Versus the ones in A and B where they're much more intense with things you need to see. This I don't think quite fits into that. Well, this probably could have done with Curzon flashbacks. I don't know if the actor was still around. It was only a year later, but it could. I would love to have seen some of Curzon Jadzia ever. Him in some sort of awesome ambassador's outfit. Maybe he wasn't well. I don't know. But I feel like I missed a trick. Because we never met Jadzia. We never met Jadzia Dax, and they're not the same person. You always change after that, right? It'd be nice to have met Jadzia as well.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, we meet a young Curzon in the form of Odo taking on his persona.
It was great. Yeah. Well, or very old Curzon, because he's post-death.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, an alive dead Curzon.
Yes. Who seemed young, for sure.
Yeah.
There's also the proto-universe bit that they bring aboard the shuttle, but I don't remember the details of that for sure, which I think I should.
I guess because they couldn't realize the concept in a visual way that linked to me to how do you realize a proto-universe? What a gaseous blue cloud it's not going to stick, right? There's so many visuals in TNG, especially where the visual is the science. Yeah, I think C is good. I think it's yeah. I mean, it is the tremendous average, right? That's right. Right? Yeah.
I don't remember it being bad. I remember enjoying it.
And I think were you to compare it to season 1 of TNG, it'd be an A, because the characters are far better formed. The acting is more, but she's really good in this role. She's so smooth, and you see all the knowledge behind her eyes, which she doesn't have. Yeah. She's very good in this role.
Well, more of what sticks out to me in this episode is the Jake thing, where he's asking everybody for advice on how to deal with his father and how
Oh
to tell his
God,
dad
yeah,
he doesn't want to be in Starfleet.
yeah,
His dad's a little disappointed at first, and then he's like, "Okay, well, you got to do your own thing. That's cool." So he was worried for nothing.
yeah. None of that. I have zero memories of that because it's just him in the DS9 sets, right? There's nothing visually to make that stand out in any way, which is so funny. I said this last time. Like the TNG set, for some reason, stands out more as visuals. Is it because it's a darker set? I don't know, but they all blend together in a way that TNG doesn't. I feel like I remember different scenes of the engineering from the episodes. I don't know.
I think there's more of a sameness on the station. The Cardassian design aesthetic just feels so much the same in every situation.
That's very
Whereas
possible.
TNG's got some standout rings and such.
Yeah, because like the TNG engineering is so distinct from the holodeck, distinct from 10-4, distinct from Green Crew Corps are kind of boring. To the bridge, to the turbolift. Yeah, I mean there is no engineering in DS9. It's just some parts of the ops, right? And then and both corridors do look the same. That's also part of the point, right? You're not meant to know you're walking forever. Although I love when you look at how they walk those corridors, because there's a right way of doing them, and there's the end of the wall, and it's fun to know where they
you
stop.
can see the painting almost every time.
Well,
the perspective's not quite right. It's really kind of annoying.
I said before, there's one episode where there's a walk and talk through the entire set twice, the entire corridor twice, and it works, except when you realise that at the start of the first take, the actors are clearly up against the wall doing this, because there's nowhere else to go, and you can kind of sense, and they just walk in, because they've got to take a big step out of literally the edge of the wall, and there's just enough room, because I know the blueprints, and it's like they did use every inch, and because they filmed it a certain way, you can feel the standing start. If you know, you can see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I like it. Guys, throw in some S's. I'm interested to see.
Well, I think we might have an S with the next one.
Oh.
Ray Ricks throws in 5 pounds. Blood Oath.
Blood Oath.
Kang and Koloth and Kor all come to the station.
Curzon, kind of, in a sense.
The Kazon show up. What?
Sorry, Curzon. Curzon v Kazon, the match of the century.
Yeah, this is the Dahar Masters show up. These old school Klingons who've got their ridges back because genetics or plastic surgery.
We don't talk about it to outsiders.
Right? And yes, there's this albino that was a warlord that killed, like, massacred people, and they have this oath to like take him out. I think he killed their firstborn or something.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah. So yes, and of course Curzon was part of that, so it kind of transfers over to Jadzia. And I love the line of Curzon, my old friend. It's Jadzia now. Jadzia, my old friend.
Well, you can kind of extemporize from that potentially they also knew the one before Curzon as well.
Yeah.
Like there's that sort of, they're all long-lived, etc.
Yeah. So it's all this whole thing with her trying to figure out whether, well, she's all in, honestly, because it's a blood oath that they all took together, blood pact. If they ever found the albino, they would go and kill him. And Cisco, of course, tries to talk her out of it, saying,
Murder.
You're going against your Starfleet oath and all this. But she ends up going. They raid his compound. They kill everybody and kill him. And Kang dies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic Klingon episode. I love all the OG Klingons from TOS coming back. It was really great.
I found a tricolor I've never seen before. What the hell is she using? Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'll get to that. Continue. I'll show it up. What the hell?
No, that's about it. I mean, yeah, it's just seeing the OG Klingons come back and, knowing that they were all friends, like Klingon captain friends, is kind of cool. And yeah, none of them feel too old. They all feel like really good age-wise. Their makeup looks fantastic. Their rapport and their camaraderie together is really good.
They're using Jem'Hadar rifles again.
I'm so sorry.
It's a goddamn Alpha Quadrant, guys. Why are you using Jem'Hadar rifles again? Jesus Christ. Apparently. I bet they're on location. This feels like a big set to build at the end. I thought they might have found somewhere. There's a certain tangibility to the end, murder site. Because I said tricorder, and I've never seen this. Obviously, I have seen the episode several times, but I've never I feel like I know why they might have made it this way. But hey, classic, you never put this in for the tricorder episode. You failed because this is a brand new one I've not seen before. All right, the custom Blood Oath tricorder, Stuart, and unless you say you've seen it before, then me. All right.
Well, I eagerly await this the reveal because delay and all that jazz.
On the slides.
No, this is a fun one. I like the idea of a Klingon Blood Oath. Wow.
Yeah. That's so different.
Much bigger screen. Wow, I like that.
Yeah, so what they've done, guys, they've basically ripped out the screen and the buttons. They've made it all a screen and some little buttons. They've extended the top piece. Clearly because they want to see the data on the screen. I have never mentally registered that prop ever. Can't hear you.
I said screenshot this and save it so you don't forget about it.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a good one. I like it.
Wow. Sorry, yes. Any more thoughts before I jump in?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, this one benefits from, of course, Jadzia is a real standout actress in the show. So she helps give gravitas. And then you bring they were already seasoned character actors in 1966, 7, and 8. And so to come back, and they look shockingly not old. Like, even though the makeup, like, they don't look like wrinkly old men, because I'm sure they're in their 40s, in the 60s, they would be in their late 60s, and they look really good, considering they don't feel like old men. They feel like middle-aged, older men, but there's a really good distinction. I remember this is obviously, at the time, we compared this with Picard Season 3. These are older than Worf Klingons, and there's mostly dark hair. And yet Worf is going totally grey, etc., etc. And then Terry gives us some reasons, like, oh, fine, whatever. But these felt like you don't want just white-haired Klingons, because they need to feel like they've come from the battlefield. They're old, but they're seasoned generals, not their old bumblings, which work for later ones, of course, when he is an old bumbling. But yeah, you have 3 seasoned character actors together, and I'm sure they'll know each other. I'm sure they'll work with each other on various things over the decades. And there's and because they're all 3 are very different in how they portray Klingons and people. So it's 3 unique chemistries fighting against each other, but also balancing each other. And honestly makes you wish that they didn't, kill one of them at the end, because, like, they could have done multi-arc. We did get that with 1, and that's really sings. But yeah, the gravitas of them and Jadzia stuff's fun. And there isn't any consequences to this, as far as I recall. She's able to go in and break Starfleet procedure, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. It's like, okay, cool. But, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? And they call him albino, but they're so unclear if he's a Klingon or not. Doesn't have to be, but he could be.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know, but it this is the Tyler Vok thing, right? Of linking to, like, in some theories, he is actually Tyler Vok, or he's one of the ones from Discovery, la 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 la, right? It's theories. And apparently, Dominion weapons. And great on location stuff, which is pretty rare, but it's, you got these guys in, yeah, give them something real to do. Yeah. As I'm scrolling, though, I wouldn't say it's an S for normal Trek, because I think it needs a little bit more to be S for me. Like, just a little bit more. But I think for this season, it would have to be an S, because it is much more enjoyable than Maquis 1. But that's possibly better written, but it's such a different subject material, right?
This is one of me and Sylvia's favorite episodes of DS9, so it's one we really like.
I mean, it's TOS fanboy love, but by being a fully DS9 episode. Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very real, real and clever for being so silly. It's both at the same time.
And I also like the idea of the symbiote making a blood oath, and Jadzia saying, "Yeah, it's still a go," even though the Klingons are like, "We understand. You don't have to come. You're just a girl after all." And
well,
yeah,
it's probably more a Federation girl. Like they wouldn't say it to a Klingon lady. But yeah, it would make be the blood oath person. Don't be. You're not the same person. You're the same person. Trills, right? Am I right? Trills be trillin'.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a trilling episode.
But I mean, this is one of those things where you're never ever gonna have this again. Original legacy actors, fully able to do everything, reprising in a unique, fresh way, and they did it a few times. Boy, if they'd done it more. All those actors were around for the most, for the most part. They're just kind of such fun doing stuff like that.
Well, I love that Core comes back in other Deep Space Nine
Hell of an
episodes.
Hell of an arc.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of ruins him, but that's the point, to then have a final triumph. It's all very intentional.
And even though Kang dies in this episode, I don't know if Koloth dies.
Yeah, they said they
Koloth gets wounded, but I don't know if he dies.
Dies off screen. I think it's like a...
Okay, yeah. Kang dies on screen.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Kang is back for Flashback. We get to see Kang again.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So
that's cool. You died, and we'll bring back as well. Yeah, not dead yet. And why do you look like that Klingon? Because I do. Very nice. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's them fully embracing, but also being clever. Which is funny. It's the opposite to what they did for the Mirror Universe.
Yeah.
Ironically, right?
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Next up, we got Ray Ricks with 5 pounds. The Jem'Hadar. Ooh, the season finale. Dun, dun, dun. Which starts off very lightheartedly, honestly, because they go for Cisco and Jake go for even though he's also a Cisco. Jake and Benjamin go for a camping trip with Nog, and Quark tags along into the Gamma Quadrant, and they end up getting captured by the Jem'Hadar with a Vorta as well.
No, she's a prisoner.
She is, I know.
With an anti-brain device, which totally works. Why are you laughing?
But only the kids don't get kidnapped, because I don't know what the hell they were doing. But they're on the runabout, and they're just fucking with the isolinear chips. That's a funny scene. And then, of course, we get... Is it the Challenger that comes in? Or is it the Columbia?
Yeah, Challenger.
Which makes a move into the Gamma Quadrant and gets wrecked
with the shittiest non-bridge ever. It's the we had a hero multi-million set. We tore it down last week because of Generations, so we can film it in a closet. We've got a closet still, right? So how are we going to do that? Close-ups, 150mm close-ups. But sir, but camera guy, you should be able to see that. Shut up.
It'll be fine. No one will notice.
Like, had it been a real bridge, it'd have been so much more impactful. I know they couldn't, but had they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sets up the stakes for the following Dominion War conflict. It's a very good season finale. Love seeing a Galaxy class just get wiped out with one kamikaze run to the neck.
Which is probably the first in Trek history. Kamikaze?
Maybe, probably, sure.
Okay, great.
Ramming speed. I mean...
Which one are you quoting there?
Well, First Contact, but then there's also Nemesis, which is much later, obviously, but I'm just trying to think if there's any other...
Yeah.
I mean, maybe?
Let us know. But what do you think about the episode? Are you a fan?
I am a fan of this one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll jump in then.
Yeah, please do. I'm just trying to think.
I mean, this is a first watcher's dream, a second watcher's intrigue, a 10th watcher's you can stop paying attention. Because not knowing where it's going, it's really interesting. Because the makeup's phenomenal, and it makes sense, and the fact they're, caught with their pants down. But then second watch, you're like, damn, this is we're doing the entire arc, and this is a full setup. Because if you recall, the first look of the bug ship comes to DS9, and they beam through the shields as if it's tissue paper, and everything about them is better. Nothing we do is even meaningly whatever. And then when we escape, it's because they let us to see how good we are. And it's such a powerful but gentle, slow setup that by the end you're like, shit. And that's how it works, right? So it's good on those two viewings. But yeah, I love the fact they're putting Cisco and Quark together. Really weird pair. Works really well in this because they're off their game. Jake and Olga are a great duo. They always have been, always will be. Good chemistry. One of the few times not in uniform works really well. Like, they're good uniform, they're good non-uniforms, they feel out of place in a good way. I really like the Vorta they pick. She's weird and good, and it's a good... Doesn't come back, unfortunately, but they don't really do that. But it's okay. And the twists are excellent. Yeah, it's a really... it's a really well done episode that does give you everything you need. And the fact that Quark is good enough to work out she's... I think it's like, I sold some of these in my past. Did you? Slave calls? Nothing. What? I think that's something like that as well.
Well, he tries to replicate it and finds out it's hollow.
Yes, that's what it was.
There's no internals, so...
So he's also clever in how he does it.
Yeah, but he was going to replicate it to turn a tidy profit, and of course, it didn't work out that way.
And also good on location work. It's like nothing special, but it's like pretty just... They don't always do that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a slow build, slow burn, high stakes sort of episode. What are you thinking? For this season?
Okay, let's see. I would say possibly an S, honestly. Maybe a high A. That visual at the end of the Galaxy class getting blown up is real good. I'm just saying.
And then it exploded.
Yeah, there's no need for a suicide run. Well, they were just showing us how far they're willing to go.
And it's not even played like a big deal. It's like, I'm just going to fly into you. What?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is an S. I think it is such a successful thing that has some really great pieces. And the Galaxy Captain guy was a little bit arrogant, but he's got a Galaxy class. Like, he's top 1% of the fleet, right? But not too much. Had the TNG sets existed, they could have really elevated this piece with seeing, like with Geordie, all the sparks when TNG has problems, but like going even further, like, flames and the warp core burning down. Like, they could have really had fun with it. So it does feel smaller because of that, and it should, like, same with having a runabout, right? Runabouts are small, obviously feels small. Those diminish the points, but it's such a clever, well-told story with great acting.
Oh, yeah, isn't the ship the Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mako. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, why I said Challenger? That's Geordie.
Pretty good. Pretty darn good for this season. Yes, this is the S. It is a notable step above the A, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have 33 votes on the poll, guys. Anybody else that voted, go vote now. 28 likes. I'd like to get to 30. So if you haven't hit like yet, please do so.
Right now, those 2 likes. It's free. It's simple. It's easy. It is a button. If you're on your TV, find your phone, press the button. 28 right now. I want to see 30.
He's waiting, guys. Come on.
29. Click like. Simple. Easy. Achievable. And we've got just under an hour, guys. Love some quick fire ones, as is plenty to talk about.
There are quite a few to talk about. Do you want to end that poll?
I do. 33 votes. Do you want to be the one?
Which is better, DS9 Season 1 or 2? Season 2 wins with 100%. I'm ending that pool because we never get that.
When was the last time you were 100%, Stuart?
Never. I just said that.
No, sorry, I did. I think we were being hyperbolic. I think we saw it once.
Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know if it's better. It's different. It's better, more enjoyable because we know what's coming, and this is... A lot of the stories in Season 1 were still good, but there wasn't the... I don't know. I don't want to say Season 1's bad, because it's not. It's just not as good. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm happy to say it's better, because when we... And hopefully we'll get to some of the other ones. There is significantly more B, A, and S's for their own merit. They just have slightly better ideas, slightly better use of the characters. It's all just a bit better. And if most of it's a bit better, then I think Season 1 is just not quite as there. And just some more creativity. There's some really good ones this season, which we haven't necessarily got to yet. But it's up to you guys. We only talk about them if you suggest. I'll put a new poll in.
Do it. Classic for real. $5. $5 to retroactively go back to the Tricorder Live and rate Dax's Blood Oath Tricorder.
Strong B.
Yes. I like it better than the medical tricorder, which I think we had in
B? But low B?
Anyway. Yes. All right. Hit like, guys. Oh, we hit 31 likes. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
New poll up as well. But I'll throw in one because Classic did not specify, but I want to throw one in so we should get one to talk about.
Ooh, okay.
Because, hey, every 5. I do want to include, let my slides return. One I want to talk about, I'm actually going to throw in, I'm going to be a bit cheeky and throw in one I actually like, in case it's not talked about. The O'Brien mystery, confusing, everyone's a baddie, twist, he's the baddie episode. But it helps when you tell us the names. Because I don't know what the name of it is. What's the name of it, do you think, Stuart?
Oh, let me take a look.
The Wire? I'll let you look. Yeah, so basically, I really like this one. It gives O'Brien a really strong bit of acting.
Whispers.
Thank you. It's always good to scroll as you do. Yeah, so in this episode, basically, as you guys know, O'Brien returns to the station, and everything's a little bit off. And it's wonderfully tangibly off. And in classic TNG fare, the station's been run by aliens or something, obviously, right? That's what's going to happen. And it keeps progressing, and everything's a bit off, and you get to see it on the station, and his life and his job, and you see it through flashback. So it's all like he knows something's wrong because of flashbacks, and he's recounting it as how the station turned against him, and to Starfleet, there's a big problem. We need to save DS9. And it gets a bit weirder and a bit weirder. And then Jake comes aboard because he was off station. Oh, Jake's good. Jake's a friend. And then he turns against him. And then, Oda's a friend. Turns against him. But turns out you can't put Baby in a corner because boy, does O'Brien had a DS9 and outthinks everybody with his hacking. And even getting through to Starfleet admirals when he escapes. And it's like, oh, great, save them. And then they call back saying, go back to the station. It's like, God, they even got you somehow. And it escalates the very last second. And the twist is that he's actually like a clone or something. And the other guy's the reverse. But it feels so apt and so real and so genuine and so sad.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible acting by Cole Meany that is so weird and different. Yeah.
It's fantastic. The sense of unease and just when he's eating with Keiko and she's got that, like, she's watching him. You just, what is going on? I mean, first watch, it's fantastic. I mean, and it's a replica that they sent to assassinate somebody at one of the peace talks that were happening. Everybody knows.
Yeah, everyone. Except those off station, which is part of the fun.
Yeah. And yeah, going back and rewatching it, it's like, okay, now that you know what's going on, it's actually really fun to watch everybody's reactions,
Yeah.
just watching the background and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's so well done. And yeah, O'Brien or Cohen does a really fantastic job with it. And the last scene where it's like he's perfect. He passed all the medical scans when he came on board. And you just see yourself die, and he loves Keiko, and he's like, tell her that I love her. It's like, what? Like, it would be such a weird thing, right? Yeah, it's a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it's like someone had just a good idea, and the good idea is the last 2 minutes, and they just got to play with that concept to the maximum with a very strong bit of the Roga Dana, get around the station, get around DS9, get around TNG, you know, that
Mission Impossible shit, yeah.
But it's all very well executed, and you see escape things, and you know, sort of like Data. This guy, you can't really beat him in certain ways, and it's really nice to see the creative thinking. Yeah, for me, this is a strong S, because this would be good at any Trek show.
100%.
I don't think it worked with anyone else, because he has that range of happy and miserable bugger. You know what I mean? Like no one quite has that. Like Sisko goes through sort of a gruff but it's not quite miserable. Yeah. And you're always on his side because he's the guy from TNG. You're always rooting for him. You never once think he's the problem, because why would you? But it's just such a good bit of television.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely nice.
I want to make sure that was there, because that I think is a top like 20 DS9 episode, because it doesn't need like legacy characters or big sci-fi content. It just is a beautiful bit of television that uses DS9 well. That for me is probably a top 20 DS9 episode.
Yes.
I would also say probably the one where he also is going through time. It's very similar in that he's such the focus and he acts the shit of it, and it's both excellent. Well done him. Probably two of the best of those like weird side episodes.
Yeah, he got some of the best episodes, honestly. He's really good with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He was just a guy at Con in season 1 in red. Just some guy they hired off the street. You know what I mean? Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Ray Ricks, £5. Final super chat. Oh, thank you, Ray. The Wire.
That's a show. What? A famous show. Ah, if I recall, Garrick's brain thing.
Yes.
Okay, you go for this.
We meet his dad. Nabrin Tane. Oh, we don't know his dad yet. I don't think.
No.
That's so confusing, that whole thing. Is it his dad? Isn't it his dad? Yes, I guess. And
it's only in like one half of one scene that he becomes his dad. He dies. It's such a small bit of the story, but then it retroactively. But yeah, summarize these episodes, because I remember really enjoying this one, but I feel like I've missed some of the bits. I felt you'd love this one because it's a Garrick, hyper central.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Oh.
No. I just remember that Garrick's really good at it, going a little off his rocker, getting a little short-tempered with everybody.
Little.
But yes, he definitely comes across very evil in this. When he's talking to Bashir, you could just tell that he's like somebody that you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah. You finally, and probably for the only time in the entire show, see his actual Obsidian Order self.
Oh yeah.
Like when he's actually torturing people in dark rooms and not bullshitting you.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever see it again, really.
Yeah. I don't remember the resolution. I don't think I see an Abrantane.
Because I thought this episode was much later, if it's when I think of it. I believe this is the one where he has a chip in his brain that was used on missions to like deal with interrogation. It can feed you good feelings when you're being given bad feelings.
Yes.
And he just he hacked it, turned it on all the time, so that when his exile happened, which he generally hated, he was being flooded by okay emotions. That's how he deals with being on DS9.
Yes.
But now it's old. It's not obviously meant to be done all the time. It's now going bad, and he's an absolute junkie for it to the super degree. And now he can't now his brain is super negative because of course he's only been positive, and then just becomes an absolute prick for half of it until he goes over it, gets over it, and he needs Tane to help him fix it at the end.
Tane even says, I want him to die in that station, surrounded by people that hate him. I want him to be miserable. Like, there's...
Great.
Oh, my goodness. The dynamic between the two is just insane.
Yep. But, I mean, you wonder why they both became high-end Trekyard operatives, because they are who they are. It's like, I could see... But yeah, the acting here is... I mean, considering he's not in many episodes, I think he's only, 17 all of DS9, and this is so early on, and he's so the star, and he's so good in this, and it's just... I mean, obviously, any actor, it's a dream script, right? It's just beautiful opportunity to act. But he gives such menace, charm, menace. But he never once fancies Bashir in this. There's no love tension whatsoever. If he fancied him, there'd be subtext here because he can't keep his emotions straight. There's zero in this. I'm sorry, guys. There's no bromance here. It'd be in this episode. Sorry. He's just being a Obsidian Order guy.
Yeah.
But great different story, though. Because he was just a tailor at this point. This is the episode they twist he isn't. Like, now we know he was an operative, and they put a hyper-advanced chip in his brain to make him deal. That's a really big twist. Like, now we know. And he just had to live with it on because he couldn't deal with you fucking humans. As damn Bajorans, because he doesn't like them either, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are you going to place it?
Probably an A.
Yeah, I'm B or an A. It's not a very broad story versus A, which has a lot more different elements. Does it need that? I don't know. So that's where into A are you versus B? Like, tell me where on that line.
I think the dialogue and writing in this is really fantastic, but I need to rewatch it again to get Andrew. Like, his acting is phenomenal. So,
sounds like comfortable A.
Mid A, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, again, for this season. This might not stand up quite as much later on. I think it's be a B later on, but I think for this season this is.
Yeah. I
mean, it's hands above, better than everything in C. That's why they're in C, right? But yeah, I think there's definitely two ranks higher. Because it's really canon interesting. Like, this for me is far more interesting Cardassian lore than most of them, because it's different. It's sidestepping. It's texture. Like, as you can see in our little screen, the court one, same thing, right? That's different. It's real. It's interesting. It's not just Cardassians hate Bajorans and settlers and they're gonna attack them. It's like, yeah, every episode. This is interesting.
Yeah. All right. Hit like, guys. 37 likes. 39 of you here. So let's try to get up to 40 likes. 3 more likes. That'd be great. Go vote in the poll. There is a new poll up.
Oh, not 100.
Did DS9 truly get good once the Dominion Jem'Hadars show up? Yes or nah? It was pretty good before. Interesting.
Is the question. Half an hour more, guys. There are plenty to talk about still. Throw them in. Let us know what you think.
Sergeant Montgomery, member for 51 months at the rank of lieutenant. Thank you so much. Tribunal, Cardassian justice system sucks.
There you go. Yeah, we'll count that because we want to talk about it. Wow, the one before the end of the season. Now, I do remember this one as well, because I remember all the feelings of watching it, but not the small stuff. Where are you on this one?
This one is one of the ones that frustrates me. It's like...
Oh, love it.
It's like the torture one in TNG.
Chain of Command.
Chain of Command, thank you. Because it's so frustrating to be accused of something you haven't done. Trust me, I know. And just the dehumanization of him by the Cardassians, like removing a molar as evidence, you're considered guilty. until proven innocent. It's the exact opposite. It's just such a frustrating turn, and the judge annoys me. The lawyer who just doesn't give a shit annoys me. It's such a frustrating episode for me because poor O'Brien. I sympathize with O'Brien. I'm a lot like O'Brien, and it just poor Keiko. Even I care about Keiko in this episode, which is I know, right? Because I put myself in O'Brien's position, so I superimpose.
Red alert! Stuart's lost his mind. Stuart's lost his mind. Red alert!
So I superimpose Sylvia on Keiko. So this is it's an episode that speaks to me in ways that other ones don't, because I can actually put myself in the situation. Because I have been accused of doing something I didn't do, and that's a whole other story, which we're not going to get into today. And it's frustrating as hell to feel helpless like that. But yeah, I mean, it's good intrigue to find out that his friend that he bumped into on the station prior was the one that set him up. And just what? Why?
Because moustache.
Yeah. What? Evil? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he looks very 60s, doesn't he? Yeah, sort of a old school actor look.
Maybe. But even the trial, like to the point where they're like, "How many Cardassians have you killed?" Because we know he was in the
bro, so many.
Right? Yeah.
God,
you have no idea.
Yeah, their record of him is like, I mean, he's a war criminal to them.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right.
Yeah, I mean, stepping out to go on vacation and getting arrested, not being told why. I mean, it just it hits me personally in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I like it, and yet it frustrates me, and it's actually kind of painful to watch at times.
For me, that's the one with the box.
The box?
Yeah.
Fuck! I hate.
Yeah.
That bitch.
That one hits me in the feels in a way that's uncomfortable. I don't know why. So I can sympathize. Yeah. That's in this season, guys. If you want to, as you see in Stuart on Notes, it's just the box. That's the visual episode. Just the box. That's all you need.
I laughed when I saw that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We know. Some hard to summarize. The box. Done.
I would not deal with that situation the way Cisco did. I can tell you that for damn sure.
You guys have to put in for it. We're not going to talk about otherwise. Yeah, this one is such an interesting piece of TV. Like I said, I remember all the broad strokes. How I felt, but not the dialogue. So that's the disclaimer. But yeah, the simple reality of the system of these people, of the Cardassians, the fact that yes, guilty for innocent, like the way they thought through and designed the logic of this episode makes you, unlike a lot of sci-fi, it feels like a real culture, one that is meant to be, we don't like it, but it has a real like, oh yeah, obviously that makes sense with them in mind. So it has a real interesting thing because, guilty for innocent, but if most if you don't do crime, it's a dumb.
Well, people are saying in the chat that it's guilty, otherwise you wouldn't have been. You're guilty, otherwise you wouldn't have been arrested. So it's not even guilty until proven innocent. It's just guilty. Well, yeah, and the trial was to just.
Well, no, yeah. You have to prove your innocence. That's what it is. It's a trial where you have to do the counter. Because they wouldn't have got you, I guess, without proof. But I'm really enjoying the trial because it's just so interesting. I remember him getting Odo because he's impartial, because he doesn't give a shit, and he's got his stuff with the Cardassian. Like, that's the idea, right? I remember the lawyer being so interesting because it's like he's never won a case.
He doesn't want to besmirch his record.
Yeah, because that's the job is to defend a guilty person who will be sentenced. So he's not there to help. He's there just to put the data forward.
Yes.
Because he's already but that it makes sense internally, and that's why it works really well. And O'Brien's great in it. It's just depressing, but it's tangibly interesting. The lighting's great. The lady being lady's really nice, and she's a good actress. The
picture for it.
Oh, buddy, but it just feels so interesting. Like I said, that's why I'm glad to put it next. It's just such an interesting piece. But if I do recall, they tease the lawyer into arguing for him. And he either gets killed or brutalized or something negative happens because he's kind of betrayed the system. I think there's something negative to him.
He gets dragged away at the end, I think, for winning.
Probably. Or losing in their society. But yeah, it's just such an interesting piece of weirdness. And it's a really strong way of having you dislike them as a species without having to just do another border skirmish. They're mean. They attack civilians. This is so much more interesting. Like with the one from TNG, right? The alien race that our guys attacking, they're the good guys. Oh wait, they were doing bad shipments. That means they're bad the whole time. That's far more interesting than they just kill colonists. It's just so much better done. And you can imagine, yeah, when we meet these guys for the Cardassian border war, culturally we don't connect. Simple sense of justice doesn't work, you know. Especially if if we found their space first, our first trespassing is guilty because you did they'll attack first because you're already guilty. It's like what? Yeah, it creates interestingness.
Oh. Yes.
That said, as I was scrolling, there's a lot of not the main stuff I like in it, so I don't think it deserves S. So I'm either.
No, I wouldn't have said S. It upsets me too much.
Yeah, I'm either A or very, very high B. I think it's.
I would say A at least.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. It's a brave piece to do. But that just more successful than the season 1 stuff.
Yep.
Very nice.
Brian must suffer.
Oh, and a Dark Hunter says the trial isn't even prove your innocence. If you're on trial, you're already guilty. Period. You can either admit your guilt or not, but you're guilty just the same. Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right. Well, what's next?
All right.
Ray Rex, 5 pounds. That wasn't your last one, was it, Ray? It was okay. One more. Ray. My least favorite episode, Paradise. Got a convention to go to in April. Need to save the pennies. Oh, well, have fun.
Which convention? Is that one here or is that one somewhere else? Ah, it's the box. It's in the box. Why did the box? It's Cisco. He's in the box.
Well, you can talk about this one first.
And this, I believe, is the other use of the Runabout back set, which is cool. Yeah, this is our. So I obviously the thing you remember, but if I recall, it's a crashed Starfleet ship.
Yes.
They find them. Hazar. For some reason, my brain says it's Raven class, but it hasn't been invented yet, so it can't be. But my brain. And it's this nice colony. Looks pleasant. I believe they say there's no crime. It's going well. The lady magistrate person is a fair, and they learn about they crash. They're in society. All's well, and then they find I think the guy's son is in the box.
Yeah.
And turns out that.
There's a natural dampening field on the planet, so none of their technology worked. So that's why they have technology.
And they're trapped.
And
yeah,
they couldn't find the source fix. The tricorders wouldn't work or anything, so they just kind of
had to embrace it.
Yeah.
And then they see the punishment. And they're like, well, that's how no crime happens. We just brutalize them. And the guy, I remember really well acting. I actually recognize the actor. He's like, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the punishment. I've now learned. I feel better. And the lady's like, yes, you're welcome. That's the 19th day. You're welcome. And this goes like, I judge this bitch. And then it escalates. It keeps escalating.
Yeah, she's very Kai Wynn in her approach, this lady, too. It's like, kill them with kindness. It's like, you can choose not to, go in the box. And oh my god, I just fucking hate her.
But I think she believes her bullshit. Kai Wynn does not. She's a manipulative. I want power. This lady is, of course, it's the right way. I think there's a genuineness. It's more scary here.
Same thing, but different kind of. Yeah.
There's more acting on Kai Wynn to get power. She just is. That's why it's horrible. That's why it's even more horrible. That's why you can't convince her. And then Cisco, I think he willingly goes in the box.
He does. For O'Brien, because O'Brien did something.
Yeah.
I was going to be put in, and he said, no, I'll do it. And they're like, okay, cool.
And he comes out for like a day or two, and he's pretty shook.
And she sets water down in front of him.
Yeah. And he goes back in, and they make a fake compass, which is very clever. And I remember there's a speech she gives, like, "Oh, it's for the good of the people. We must have order, and we must do it for the good of the people." And I was like,
And it turns out that it was in fact her that is responsible for the dampening field, because O'Brien eventually finds it and realizes it's a Federation one.
Was it her or her family?
I think it was her.
Okay.
Because
fresh life.
They wanted to lead the simple life, and she kind of forced it on everyone else.
And then half them beam at the end because they turn it off, and the robot's right there. Like, it's fine. Like, it's that easy. And they take her as punishment, or does she willingly go? Because I think she beams.
But she's getting imprisoned.
Oh.
They're taking her to jail, and she agrees to go because that's the punishment. And I guess that's good on her, but
yeah.
You can stay if you want. If you like the simple life, cool. If not, you can come back with us, because she forced you guys to do this basically without your knowledge. So it's up to you guys. And yeah, she goes with them, and it's Jen's trial. So
another one where someone just had the idea of, what's the cheapest prop piece we have in the back lot? What do we get our toilet plumbing for the repair on stage 6? That box looks really human-sized. Torture device? Jerry? Torture device, are you offering? No, for story. Oh, that makes one. And then, yeah. This
one makes me super fucking angry. Like, I just hate this bitch. I mean, She does a good job with the role, because that's what you're supposed to do. I just would not have dealt with it like Cisco would have. I would have...
As nor would later season Cisco. Let's be honest, right? He'd have punched her out or something worse.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, absolutely I would have.
Like, no, he would have. Like, later season. Like him having all that development of, now I can choke a bitch, right? He would have gone for her.
Yeah.
This, for me, is at least a B, because it's not everything is the best, but it's powerful. So I think start at a B. Where are we going from B?
No, it's an easy B. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting story that these, they don't have technology because of her.
Okay, vote now if you think you should dip into A.
No, I don't think so. Makes me too angry for A.
Wish me success.
I mean, yes, the courtroom one is frustrating. It makes me frustrated. This one makes me fucking angry. And I don't like being angry.
Vote now, because I think it's right on that. I don't remember the subtlety, and I think, there's bits and pieces of each. Vote now, guys. Vote now.
Dan B says, I've never been as angry during a Star Trek episode as this one. Right?
But in a good way, though. That's the thing. It's. I know. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so let us know where it should go, guys. Just put it in the regular chat. We'll just tally them up. Or if someone wants to super chat in and lock it in at a position.
Yeah, even like $1, right? Like, I'm interested to see what people think, because it's such a memorable bitch slap of an episode. We're not prejudging. Wherever you guys vote, I mean, certainly in B. So put it in B for now, Stuart, and then we'll let the votes come in.
Yeah.
It's like,
B for box.
I don't remember the first, I don't remember a good chunk of it, but I do remember very distinctly the other chunk of it. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Sean O'Sullivan puts in €2 and says, "Whispers. Is this an O'Brien must suffer or no?" Yes, it is, but it's not. I mean, I still think it counts as an O'Brien must suffer episode, because he does have to watch his duplicate die at the end. I guess.
Also, everyone doesn't like him. It's not fun.
But it's not him, so that's what I think he's asking. But yeah, that's a tough one. I would say yes, it still counts.
But let's throw in 1 for 2, because I want to, super chats are adding up. Let's throw in 1 to see if you remember. First episode of the season, because I was left scratching my head at the first.
The Homecoming.
Yes, the continuation of the Bajoran subplot, where
this is it's a 3-part. The first 3 episodes in this season are 3-part.
Yeah. They go somewhere, Bajoran-y.
and they rescue this freedom fighter who's been just
yes.
He's a POW in a
Yep.
Cardassian facility, and he doesn't want to be a leader, but everybody kind of considers him a hero, and he's very reluctant to be in that position.
And he wouldn't know there's a ceasefire, and he's lived it worse. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, that yeah.
But being the first part, I mean, it's kind of all right. I mean, seeing that Cardassian camp was kind of cool.
Good on location work.
Yeah.
Hot Cardassian actors. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Does Kira's love orange outfits? Because is that not her exact outfit from later when she pretends to be a hippie? Because she must love orange and red. Because that is totally similar to what she wore the other time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought she seduces the guard, though. Anyway. Yeah, this is not all right episode for me. It's probably a C for me.
It has so little impact on my life.
Maybe a D.
I think it's a D. I think this is.
Yeah.
I like the idea you just said to me, but none of that until you said it was in the episode that I don't remember any of this, and it's obviously super Cardassian, super Bajoran. Yeah. But cool to see Brian and Kira together. Why is he there? Why is he helping Bajoran?
Because he's dealt with Cardassians before.
So
they're going to a Cardassian prison camp to free somebody. He's fought them, so
I guess. Yeah. Okay, I want to throw that in because I was not overly whatever for it. So I'm glad you're as well.
Yeah.
Last 14 minutes. There's plenty left. No F so far. 3 S's and no fan move positioning. So everyone's content where we are.
And Ray Ricks, member for 36 months at the rank of Federation Council, says he's going to the Star Wars celebration in Tokyo.
Damn.
Now that'll be an expensive trip. So yes, save your pennies, my friend.
That will be hopefully amazing. Have you been to Japan before? Because I would love to go, but I feel like I'd be culturally quite brick wall. Like, whoa, that's so different.
Oh yeah, I have a friend who's married to a Japanese lady. He lives in Japan for a few years. So if we ever go, he wants to take us because
Inside
it's good
scoop.
to know the culture, and because otherwise, you kind of.
Because they are very homogenous there. They are not multicultural like lots of places, especially England.
Yeah.
And I would be very, very tall walking down the street there.
Yes.
Really, really above every. I'd be like this.
It's Mr. OCP.
Oh, I was taking. Oh gosh, I was dropping Emma off at the station last time filming, and I had this, and I hugged her, saying goodbye, and I went to leave, and there was like a guy doing some charity raising money, who said no to at the door. He noticed. He's like, "RoboCop." I turned, "RoboCop." I walked out. I was like, "Hey, woo!" The charity guy knows. Yeah, good stuff.
Stand for? What's the OCP stand for?
Oh God. I'm trying to think of a joke version because I have no idea.
Omni Consumer Products.
As you said that, I remembered Omni. As you said that, yeah. Because I remembered the one of the ads. I was like, oh, it's on. Yeah. Classic. Right, do you have one you want to throw in as a little freebie that you think is either S or an F? There's 12 minutes left. There's a couple of stonkers here. So guys, certainly it would be nice to talk about them. Let us know. I think we can lower to $3. I think we can do that. So let us know.
Yeah, there's a few interesting ones here. I'll put one in just a second. Classic for real, $2. Ray Ricks, fellow convention goer, money spender. Dun dun dun.
And savior of the Trekyards. And therefore $2, right? They won't put one for Ray.
All right. Well, there's a few interesting ones here. I think this one's probably the one I'll go with.
Okay.
I can't recall the title of the episode. Let me take a look.
Yes, this is the Dax kidnap episode.
Invasive Procedures, I believe.
That's a good name. So this guy actually becomes Dax for 10 minutes. And he's a real Dax.
Yeah, and he's got a motley crew with him, including a Klingon.
Not Tuvok again. I believe
it
that's
is Tim
Russ.
Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Forgot
Just
about that.
before. Just before.
Yeah. But yes, they take the station is evacuated due to an ion storm or some kind of storm.
Always an ion storm, isn't it?
Whatever it is, and these guys come on and basically take over the station. His goal is he wants the Dax symbiote. He was supposed to get it and was refused because he's psycho.
Yeah, mental instabilities. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they basically force Bashir to do the operation, transfer it to him, and the whole time they're kind of talking to his girlfriend, saying he's not going to be the same person after this. He's just using you right now to get what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, he'll be fine.
Our love transcends the symbiont.
Yeah. And Jadzia is going to die after this. She'll live for a little while, but she will eventually die because...
You're not meant to unsymbiont. That's not how the body works, yeah.
Yeah, especially with the length of time it was in her, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. This is a really interesting one. I think the I forget his name. The main guy
Dax.
Who wants Dax. Dax, yes. he's a really good actor. This part's really good for him.
Yeah.
And I don't quite buy that they took over the station as easily as they did, but that's neither here nor there. Just such convenience. And yeah, from this kind of neurotic character to this very confident character, like the Dax works well for him, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, this one I watched recently for no particular reason. Yeah, this one's really interesting. I actually disagree with the takeover. I think this works significantly better than many of the TNG. There's a thing! They've taken over. Because there's an iron storm, they're safe in the ops. And they pick that moment. Like, it's a timed assault, right? So for me, that works really well. And that gives it kind of they're smarter than the average foe. And I think the group they assembled, not Tim Russ especially, or not Tuvok especially, is a good ensemble. Although, ironically, the main lady looks identical to a lady in Voyager. With Steth. The girlfriend of Steth. It might be the same actress. It's very similar makeup, costume, and hair. And it's like, Jesus Christ, that's a long trip we went from the Delta Quadrant. But it's such an interesting concept. It's so simple, but interesting, that, yeah, there's a group of people on the list, right? Jadzia didn't get the Dax symbiote by default. It's a life-changing event. There's so few symbionts. It changes your life. You change its life. You think you're robbed. Jadzia gives it to him because she's like, if you think you deserve it, I mean... She's so sweet in it that it's like heartbreaking, but not in a pathetic way. She's so brave about it and so wonderful as a human that it's really wow. And then seeing that Dax live transfer is just interesting as hell. See the difference is interesting as hell. The acting is interesting as hell. Because it is actually Dax. It's actually Curzon +2. And so there's a real, like, you suddenly root for him in that small lowercase r. Because it is actually a Dax. And all this chemistry comes out, which is real. And that's weird, but it works really well. And then, yes, that, like you said, the it won't be a boyfriend anymore. It fucking isn't his boyfriend anymore. Like, it's really, really well done. Love the not Klingon outfits. The civilian clothes is great. And at the end, this is another thing I watched for reference for the DS9 build. You're 100% wondering, oh, I mean, you're not going to shoot me. You Dax your friend and risk the symbiont. He does shoot him. Because it's worth the risk to not kill Jadzia, maybe. And it's a really strong end that's like bold, and you mostly buy it. It's like, yeah, okay, because he's gonna walk off. Yeah, it's a really. I don't remember if the guy's meant to die at the end. I can't recall if no symbiont. I think he's not joined long enough, so he doesn't die. But now he feels empty.
Yeah, he doesn't die. Yeah, he's a little more crazy now. He needs being taken care of, and that's what her role is.
Because you're not meant to lose a symbiont, you're meant to die, and then to carry on. So this is like a really radical, but very rare thing of like, oh, I've lost thousands of years of memories, now I'm so empty. And she's like, I'll take care of you. At least you're mine again, the shallow man of a shell you are.
Yeah.
And Jadzia like, hello, I'm back, and I'm sort of naked underneath this cloth. Way. Yeah, really interesting episode.
Yeah, actually, the way they get on this station is they make a deal with Quark, who's thinks he's...
Yeah.
Because I remember Kira wants to kill him at one point. She's like, after this is over, I'm going to kill Quark.
Fair. Well, because he wasn't told they were going to take Jadzia. It was far
No, it was something to get him profit.
Yeah. Classic being fooled. Yeah, this one I think is very strong but not excellent. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say low to middle A. I think it does dip into that for just being the quality performances, the twists and turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Low A I think is good for this one. This is one I do enjoy watching. So.
And very, very much like those other two Classy ones, it absolutely elevates the lore of the species while being its own full story. Which doubles up on its coolness.
Yeah.
All right, last 5 minutes. Any last submission, guys, that you're missing? Like I said, we'll take $2 or $3. Is there any last ones? We're missing a couple, but this is a very interesting chart. Last 2 or 3 minutes. And Stuart, do you want to tell them about the weekend plans? If we are weekend planning, indeed.
We are.
Oh.
Sunday. Sunday.
This Sunday.
We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge, because we're going to be reviewing Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, Drunkyard style, yes. Sunday around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be good. Hang out for a few hours.
Time zones are back, so that is the normal time for everyone not in America. Huzzah!
That'll be when your clocks go forward
into the 30th.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back to Dan. That's for you. That's normal time. Yeah. Normal time. So that's 6.
So join us for that, so we can review a really good Star Trek film, have a good discussion, learn some things. We're probably going to look at the director's cut.
I was about to say that. Yep. Which I don't know the main differences are. I can't tell you what they are, but I know there's some.
There's small, subtle ones. Yeah.
Most of the I think some cursed or some stuff with Savick. Yes.
And also them having a conversation climbing the ladder. That man's my son. Anyway, it's fine.
And then a Chekhov scene of I saw him in the bathroom, etc. Check that out, Drunkyards. As always, there'll be the uniform upsell. I have a Wrath of Khan, not some ruin it. It'll be annoying as hell, but it's there. And of course, drinking yards. So it will be fun to talk about the end, and long for Spock, who is definitely dead and never going to come back, and just pour our hearts out with a shot at the end for Le Nimoy.
Yes.
So join us then Sunday, and I will be editing Stuart's fan film on Saturday, continuing work on that to get. So I'll be looking at your damn face all weekend.
Yeah. If you're gonna look at a face, I mean, come on.
It's not bad.
Right. There you go.
Join in though. That'd be fun because I've never reviewed it before. I looked at it, so that'll be All right, last one.
All right. Ray Rick's 2 Pounds, The Siege, which is episode 3, is last part of that 3-parter.
Okay.
Which I'm scrolling through and I don't super remember. Yep.
Which still did I do? Because there's nothing particularly memorable about it. I don't try to stay away from visual effects for this. I try to do people shots. I'm like, what do I summarize with this?
That's this one.
Yes. They take over the station. I mean, it's funny. It's very similar to the Dominion take over the station, but because they're the good guys, the Bajorans. I mean, I get the interest, right? This makes sense, and it's definitely, but it's so plain. They're not interesting as a species to me. But I believe it's a faction, isn't it? We're inspired to rise up. We have our own destiny. It's a small subset.
Wasn't it the Cardassians pulling the strings, though?
I couldn't say.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I have no memory of that. I know there's a good Kaya Parker stuff because she's like, yes, I side with this. Screw that guy. And
Adopaka, Kaiwin.
That's what. Nope.
She's only Vedic Win at this point.
Oh. And they try to be fancy with having Kira fly a shitty little fighter thing on Bajor, and it's just like crappy little stuff. Like, I know it's meant to be, but it's just a bit crappy. And then like their stealth, they're die-harding their own station, but it never works for me.
Yeah.
The sets are dull in that way, and it's not very interesting.
And the guy that we're talking about from the first episode, who didn't want to be a hero, ends up sacrificing himself at the end and ends up dying. Happy that he's off the hook. Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. Scrolling through, I'm not seeing anything very awesome.
It's definitely an on paper, and I get that this is kind of a big, bold direction to go before you say, and we've had enough of the Bajoran stuff, we're just going to move on to more interesting. Because this is kind of like, if this is the best and biggest plot they can do with it, that's why they moved on, right? Because seeing boring-looking humans in grey costumes with crappy phasers run around versus Jem'Hadar or Klingons, like, there's not even a comparison, right? Yeah. If you like Cardassians and if you like Bajorans, it's full of force here, but it's not engaged by this particularly. And again, the set design, just nothing looks interesting. It's all just flat, but that's apparently this show.
Yeah. And Dan says, yeah, the Cardassians were supplying the weapons for the uprising, but the Bajorans didn't realize that. Bajorans wanted to make Bajor great again. Cardassians just wanted Federation gone to conquer Bajor again.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, makes sense. Like I say, it makes sense. I'm just not particularly interested.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that successful.
No, it bites into the whole thing for me that I just don't give a shit about the Bajorans. Although, that being said, in the last rewatch we did, I appreciate it a lot more, that storyline. But, yeah. I think Wynn as well was involved in this.
Yeah,
and
100%. Working with the politicians, and I think it's like, wow, together. If you, as I'm scrolling, I think it was like, if you, the religious arm, side with me, the political arm, we can work together to be in control. This sort of tension, like, this is your chance, and then obviously it fails, and she has to go other ways to take power, and it all makes sense, right? It's all fine, but it's just, it's nothing compared to everything in S. It's nowhere near as interesting as the Maquis stuff in A, because that at least has the Federation political stuff. Yeah. I'm not affected in any way as I am in B, and it's not as fun as what was in C.
That's the D for me.
And that's sad.
It's right there with the other one. It's fine.
Yeah. Interesting. Do you guys agree? Oh, hey Jason, we're about to close out. Do you agree with us, guys? Let us know, and if we're at the end, what do you think of this chart? This very across the board chart. My goodness.
I forgot there were such good episodes in season 2, because there are a few good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's scattershotting stories across the board here.
That's a good way of saying it.
But I think they're actually getting their footing sooner than I expected. Because, yeah, I tell people don't really watch until season 3 if you can, but there's some really good stuff here. Wow, I didn't expect there to be 3 S's.
Yeah, I mean, one relies on nostalgia, one relies on scale and knowledge of the future, and one is just an excellent piece of TV. That's not a problem, just they're all doing something that's kind of gravitating them above, which is fine. But the fact that A's are so packed, that I think is the impressive thing, right? Because those are all good because they're good. Performance, ideas, acting, concepts, and the B's are damn solid. Those are good B's. Yeah. And just not that we're going to look at them, but if I was to summarize what we have left, how would I rank them? A B and a lot of C's and D's, probably, personally. I don't think there's an S between them.
No, there's at least one A, though. The Odo one.
You think it? Cause is that? Yeah. There's 2 with that guy. I'm trying to remember if it's the second one I like or the first one. Because that's not the baby one. That's the first one.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking of.
I think the baby one's a later season. I think. If it is the baby one, I agree. I think the baby one's later.
Oh well, I guess we'll never know.
But I do think we've hit the best of the season, so well done for that.
Yeah.
I do like the Luck one. I think the Luck one's charming.
Luck one's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
So's the holographic village one. It's an interesting Star Trek concept.
Yeah, with a great payoff, because obviously.
Yeah.
All right, season 2 of DS9. I think we've learned they've hit a stride. When they're good, they're good. When they're medium. Are they bad? Not really.
No stinkers.
No stinkers. Yeah, I mean, D's just okay. And okay is fine. Season 3 on Thursday. Other thing tomorrow, we'll find out.
We'll figure something out.
Yes.
But yeah, season 3 will be on Thursday, so join us for that.
Should be
So
interesting.
join us on Sunday as well for
Yes.
our Wrath of Khan Drunkyards.
And as with Section 31 and TMP, honest, fair review. Just keep that in mind.
Means he's gonna shit all over it for some reason and say it's not the best Star Trek movie ever made.
Yes. What? No. What? And to finish out the poll, 33 votes. Did DS9 truly get good? Whilst Dominion Jem'Hadar showed up? Yes, 76%. And nah, 24%. Interesting.
It is interesting.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. You guys are all awesome. Everyone that super chatted, you're awesome as well.
Yes.
Classic Real. Ray Ricks, enjoy your Star Wars convention.
The convention.
Star Wars celebration.
If you will, yes. But do join in this rest of the week. Because I'm interested to see for season 3. That'll be a really, really interesting one, I think. See how far it goes.
Yeah. And
Raj, nope, everyone in episodes will be donated for by Super Chat, so if no one goes to them, can't talk about them. We're quite strict on that because that's how from the channel, so.
Yeah.
Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, join in and help us out with this.
Sunday, Wednesday, what? Thursday, what? Thursday.
Oh, I was wrong even still. Yeah, Thursday. Sure.
All right. Until then, or until tomorrow, he's Commander Cock.
He's got a Foley. And thanks all. Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, guys.